Breaking news, guys. Breaking news. Look what we found in the White House. We found cocaine. I want to know, who do we know that lives in the White House that has family that have just gone through court proceedings for coke or crack cocaine? Being addicted to that stuff. Like, this is absolutely nuts right here. Okay. And there's no actual evidence that it is him for sure. But I'm sorry, guys. After we go through this, you're going to understand the likelihood that it was him is through the roof. Okay, so we're going to hop right into it, guys. I got this article here from CBS News. Substance found at White House confirmed to be cocaine. Subsequent testing confirmed that a powdery substance discovered by the Secret Service at the White House on Sunday was cocaine. A law enforcement official said Wednesday, as questions linger about how the drug got into the building. I wonder, how did it get in the building? The discovery of the substance caused a brief shutdown of the White House after it was found by Secret Service officers on the ground floor of the West Wing, which houses the Oval Offices or Oval Office and offices of some of the president's top aides and support staff. It was found near an entrance where visitors taking tours are directed to leave their phones. Oh, it's just where they put their phones, guys, before they go for the tour. White House staff frequently give guests tours of the West Wing, often at night or over the weekend. Guests must pass through security before entering the White House complex and then are asked to leave phones in small cubbies. And guys, and real quick, before we get to the rest of this, do we really think that this is just some little metal detector that you go through to get into a big college or something, and they just, as long as it don't beep, you're good? No, they're going to be patting you down like the TSA does when you're about to get on a plane. This is one of the most important buildings in the country, the White House. This is where the president lives. They're going to do that. The only time that they won't do that, I want to know. Probably when you have some privilege because your dad is the president and they already know that you're his son. They're not going to do all that. That's what's crazy, because I'm telling you, if it was just one of us random people, and we'll even go one step further, if it was just a random white person or random white woman, they would get the book thrown at them still. Okay, the only privilege that they're getting on this is because his dad is the president. It's political power, and it's just insane looking at this, guys. White House staff, an initial test of the substance conducted by the District of Columbia Fire Department soon after it was found indicated it was cocaine. Two law enforcement officials told CBS News, and the additional test took place Tuesday night. In a recording of a radio message from DC fire hazmat personnel who responded to the scene Sunday night, a first responder can be heard saying the substance tested positive for cocaine hydrochloride. The message was posted by the website OpenMHZ, which records and archives radio dispatches by police, fire, and EMS agencies. The Secret Service is leading a full review of how the substance got into the West Wing. Law enforcement officials told CBS News, including examining cameras and entrance logs to determine who had access to the space. Authorities are still working to identify the person who left the cocaine at the White House. The discovery of the unknown item prompted a precautionary closure of the White House. Secret Service spokesman Anthony Guglielmi acknowledged in a statement Tuesday. Guys. And then they had to put this in. President Biden was not at the White House over the weekend. He First Lady Dr. Jill Biden and the members of their family departed for Camp David on Friday. Yeah, on Friday. That means Hunter Biden was at the White House on Friday before they left to Camp David. Like, if that's not a smoking gun, I don't know what is, guys. I mean, I really don't. Like, this is absolutely nuts to me. And it's just even more nuts to me, I think, that we can't just have an agreement on both sides of the aisle that this type of privilege should not exist. We need to get rid of this as soon as possible, right? And honestly, if we just did a little bit of research and we just didn't listen to the mainstream media from the last election when it comes to independents and even the left side about Joe Biden, we could have easily been able to Google that he flip-flops on everything. And we're going to get into that a little more too. But first off, I saw this thing from Newsweek. And actually first, let's go into what the details of the West Wing are. Okay. The West Wing is the center of activity at the White House. The West Wing houses the president's Oval Office, the Office of Executive Staff, the Cabinet Room, the Roosevelt Room, and the James S. Brady Press Briefing Room. And you're trying to tell me that Hunter Biden never went to the Oval Office? Of course he is. Of course he is. Everyone goes and takes pictures with the president, goes and sits down with the president in the Oval Office. damn straight. Hunter Biden is definitely going to go there and chop it up with his dad, talk about things. Nothing's going to be recorded in there when it's just them. So it's just insane, guys. It's just insane for them to say, "Oh, this is just where we take tours." No. You might take tours there, but this is where everything happens in the West Wing. Everything's happening in the West Wing. I mean, the freaking Oval Office is in the West Wing. So, I mean, come on, guys. It's just insane. It's just insane. And then over here with Newsweek, does Hunter Biden live at the White House? What we know. And I don't think he lives at the White House. I just think he's there very, very often. President Joe Biden's son Hunter was spotted climbing into the presidential SUV on Friday to join his family at Camp David over the 4th of July weekend. There we go. He was there on Friday, adding fire to the speculation on why he has so often been seen at the White House. That came a day after NBC News reported that the president had made it clear to his political aides that he would not listen to advice on limiting public appearances with his embattled son. Hunter Biden, a frequent target of Republican scrutiny, has been seen with his father regularly since reaching an agreement with federal prosecutors in June to plead guilty to misdemeanor tax offenses. And see, I think that's disingenuous right there from Newsweek. For misdemeanor tax offenses, yeah, I mean, it is labeled as a misdemeanor for tax offenses. But that's not all that he's getting charged with. He falsified a gun report. And he also has evidence. We have evidence that he was addicted to crack cocaine. He's admitted to it. Like, guys, this is just nuts. Like, this is just to make it seem like it's not as bad. Oh, he just pleaded guilty to misdemeanor tax offenses. That's why he's allowed, into the White House. And that's why Joe Biden's just, not going to take the advice of his aides, and them saying he shouldn't come. It's just misdemeanor tax offenses. No, there's a little bit of a laundry list. It's a short laundry list, but it's a laundry list of things that you just got to slap on the wrist for that we would have just got thrown the book at. You know what I mean? And guys, I mean, that's why I bring this up, because as an independent, we should all be upset about this. We should all be able to come to an agreement on things like this, and then let's see. Well, what do we have here? Although it is not clear whether the president's son officially resides there, his stays and public appearances have drawn scrutiny from Republicans. Should be everybody. In an op-ed from the New York Post in April, journalist Miranda Devine claimed that Hunter Biden was rumored to be living at the White House with his wife and 3-year-old son to avoid being served with legal papers from an Arkansas mother of a child he fathered in 2018. Guys. And then last week, Fox reported that none of Hunter Biden's visits or extended stays at the White House from the start of his father's administration through February this year had been marked on the visitor log. He's the only one, it seems like, that wasn't on the log. Again, guys, this is just stupid. It's stupid. So we're not going to go with proper protocol anymore because he's the son to the president? No. He's got, and again, this is why I wish they didn't put this down to a misdemeanor, but of course they are because he's got privilege. But if he had a felony, I don't think they would be allowing him into the White House if he legitimately was charged with the felony. But they dropped it down. They dropped everything down, which is just nuts. It's absolutely nuts. And let's see. Other Biden family members are also not listed on the visitor logs by the Biden administration, including the president's brothers, his daughter, and his granddaughters. See, and that shouldn't be the case at all. That really shouldn't be the case at all, guys. And again, when we're talking about the hypocrisy, we're talking about the hypocrisy here. I got this video clip from C-SPAN, the official C-SPAN website. So it's not a Donald Trump YouTube video. This is from C-SPAN from June 21st of 1991. Okay. And it is blatant, the hypocrisy that he had when it came to cocaine and crack and all this stuff, because he was one of the leaders on the Drug Abuse Act of 1986, which made it seem like crack was worse than cocaine, like pure cocaine. They said crack was way more addictive and all this stuff, which is absolutely, there's no evidence to back that up at all. And it's just nuts that the average person doesn't remember this. I mean, it was before I was born, 1986. I was born in 92. So, I mean, you have to do your research, but it's there. Like, we can Google it. We can look it up. I mean, it took me a while to find it because they're really trying to hide this crap, but I was able to find it, guys. So we're going to play this video here and just show you the hypocrisy real quick.
Doesn't have it.
if it'll play.
Since 1986, Congress has passed over 230 new or expanded penalties for drug and criminal offenses in this United States. 230 new penalties. And these penalties range from an automatic 5 years in jail for any person caught with a rock of crack cocaine, a piece of crack cocaine as small as a quarter. I don't have a quarter with me, but if you visualize what one looks like, yeah, I do have a quarter. If you have a piece of crack cocaine no bigger than this quarter that I'm holding in my hand, 1/4 of $1, we passed a law through the leadership of Senator Thurmond and myself and others, a law that says if you're caught with that, you go to jail for 5 years. You get no probation. You get nothing other than 5 years in jail. Judge doesn't have a choice. Now, the fact of the matter is, we've gone from there all the way up to saying, under the leadership of Senator Thurmond, and I'd like to suggest that I take some small credit for it myself as well, and others, the presiding officer, that there is now a death penalty. And we passed it a couple years ago. If you are a major drug dealer involved in the trafficking of drugs and murder results in your activities, you go to death. And
guys, I'm telling you, if that's not a complete 180 on what you were saying before, on what you believe, and you could tell when he was saying that in the Senate, like, he was so strong. He's like, I don't want you attacking my mom or going after my wife and all this stuff. And it's just like, man, like, you see how he used emotion to try to tug at the heartstrings. Like, that's what I don't want. That's why I made this podcast, because we can't be doing that when it comes to things that are affecting millions and millions of people in this country. We need to use facts. There needs to be a factual basis on this stuff, not just to tug at the heartstrings and make them want to go to your side. You should have facts on your side. How is that so hard? Like, if you're trying to push things without having factual basis on anything, then you're not someone that I want in any type of power at all. You need to have logic and common sense and some facts to back up what you're saying if you're going to make claims the way he made them. Okay. And he's completely flip-flopped on all this stuff now because he wanted to become president. And that's the thing, guys. We can't be so lazy on looking this stuff up. We got to be a little more diligent when it comes to this. So I really hope you guys like the content on this video. Just really wanted to make sure that we're educating everybody and we're keeping everybody in the loop. I don't want anybody to ever think that I'm trying to be emotional when it comes to this, you know, and I want to make sure everyone else kind of uses factual evidence too, you know, when it comes to this stuff. So definitely look all this stuff up, guys. Like I said, it was on C-SPAN. I showed you all the articles. You can definitely look these things up. So it's just nuts. It's absolutely nuts, but let's stick together. I hope everyone had a great 4th of July. And I hope you guys stay blessed and have a good rest of your day. And I'll see you on the next video.
Yeah.